Hey everybody, John the Phone Guy here, and I wanted to do a watch sizing of one of the newer style bracelets that Invicta has come out with. So it's on the Venom. So this is a Venom I've had for a while. This is actually one of the Ocean Voyage from the 2018 cruise. Um, Considered a Gen 3 because of the scallops here, the missing, the empty pieces in between, and all of that. Everything else pretty much the same. I'll do a spec video on this. So what I wanted to show is on the back. See how these links are all one big piece all the way through here. So this is, let's see if I can get close. So this is going to be a traditional pin system. Nothing too fancy. You got the arrows pointing, all that. So this happens to be one of the newer Punishers they came out with. Same sort of bezel and everything. Everything looks the same, but if you notice on the back, the pieces are separate. So you've got this silver piece in here, and then this black actually is a separate piece, and this uses a pin and collar system that I've talked about in the past. So what I want to show you is how to adjust this one because it is a bit different. So I've got my, all right, so wow, okay, so there's a 9mm and there's a 7. This is the 7, this is the 9. So I'm going to use the 7 because I know I've got a sleeve in there. So here we go. So everything pretty much is the same from a system similar to a Grand Octane, some of the Sea Hunters, very, very similar in how they're put together. So it's going to come out and pull the pin. Now what you're going to find is this piece right here comes off the back. See, so this is all one piece. Let me focus for me. There we go. And that comes off. Now this collar piece is where the sleeve is. So I just take and just kind of get lined up here and then push this out. And I always use my fingers. What you can also do, grab the pin itself and you can kind of, there we go, pull it apart. So now, as we've seen in the past with these systems, is you're going to have, let's see if I can get this thing to focus. All right, okay, right there. So there's the sleeve part where it indents, and then there's your where it matches up. So that's where they pair up inside. So what's different about this though is you would take another piece off. So as you can see, you would take another, I've already sized this obviously. So then the trick is when you're putting this back together, you got to hold this. This gets interesting. And then you're going to feed the sleeve through this center section. And okay. Then you're going to take this, and as you can see, it's kind of notched out like right there. And then that's where this is all going to fit up inside there. So you're going to lay it up in there. I'll kind of show you. So as you can see, this piece sets right in there, almost like one of those like wood puzzles I used to have as a kid. So it just lays right in there, and then everything else about a pin and sleeve system comes into play. So then you're just gonna try ahead and look at this. Let's see. Sometimes it'll be slightly different, but looks the same to me. So we're going to line this guy up. And this is where it gets interesting, because sometimes the alignment on these is just a little off, and you really have to, because you're aligning multiple parts here, so it's not as cut and dry. And believe it or not, sometimes it's actually easier. There it goes. Turn it around. Okay, so now we're getting there. And then back in place. And then of course we're going to set it up so that we can set it. And just like on the Sea Hunters and Grand Octanes, you'll feel just a slight dent in, you know, like just like a little slight pressure release when it fits. And looks like last time I sized this, I didn't set that, so let me fix that real quick. Much better. So that is the new bracelet system. So far, I've only seen it on the Venom, but it is a bit challenging in that you've got to put that collar, or sorry, the sleeve system to hold these two pieces together, and then they're just kind of floating, and then you have to wrap this, you know, and get it all set up. So it is a bit tricky. Can be done, you know, just like I say, a little bit of patience goes a long, long way. So just, you know, don't ever try and force it. If things don't look like they're going, you know, step back. And I always do all of my alignments with my hands. I don't use the block until I'm completely done and I know that I'm all the way in there and everything is set up, because anytime, you know, obviously you're hammering on something, you're putting more pressure than what your hand would be able to do. So that's sort of my rule of thumb. So this is, you know, that's the new bracelet. I just want to show everybody that. I will do a spec video on this Punisher. I happen to be a big fan of the Punisher series, so that's kind of like my go-to. And as always, shout out to Trap Vision 3D, Tommy Big Time, Evine, where I buy the vast majority of my watches, Invictastores.com. Their yellow tag sales are really good. And of course, Facebook is Invictaholics, Invictacruisers, and InvictaVets. So with that, if you enjoy the video and you want to see some more, I'd appreciate a subscribe, and I will see you later. Thanks.